You know what? I don't even know what I titled this, but I was kind of thinking of some things that I have done. Like readily, my thought is that hey, I need to get on this. Tell somebody, tell something, say something. And I wanted to say that um, trust. I think that maybe I've had some conversations about trust, and I know readily I had posted something about partnership. That partnership goes down to that thought about family. When you're meeting somebody and you're trusting them, it's no different than an employer hiring someone and trusting that they would do the things that they need to do to make the business profitable or to make sure that services are rendered in a timely fashion. Readily, I am a woman that would say, hey, the investment starts with our family, and then that conversations which we have had with our children about money, and then also property and things of that nature. The thing is were they listening? Did they understand the basics? Do they understand that it in itself, the things that we have acquired as a person, an individual person, and then those things that we want to keep and sustain inside of our realm to give to them, our children, and to share with them, our children, spouses. When that partnership takes place between a union with a man and a woman, and then they have their children and so on and so forth. The thing is now it's called a heirloom. When we look at a period of time, it'd be like, okay, well, yes, the collection of one thing. We see a lot of people have moved and migrated. They did this and they did that. Then you have some people who just grounded. Wherever they are, that is where they're trying to have their investments. If their kids go someplace else, or whether the kids stay around and move down the street, purchase a property down the street, or stay in the neighborhood. You would think that at that moment, at that time, right, that they were looking at acquiring wealth. I mean, a lot of families, they stay together and they stick together, meaning that they'll purchase something around the block, down the street, or whatever. You know what I mean? So now when you begin to look at that plantation, okay, I know that sometimes we be talking about that plantation and be thinking about it negatively. But the thing is that there was a thing about the plantation and names. Okay, so I mean there's modern plantations, but we're going to talk about plantation as it relates to investment and actually building in an area or community that you're saying, okay, well, this is where I'm from, this is where I grew up. There's one thing to talk about one family, but then there's another thing to say, hey, you know what, we are a set of families and we know that we've come from here. I think I went to this place, and this place that I had went to, I mean, they were well, it was more than one place, but they were family. They were like, "Well, where you come from?" I'm family, baby. So, I mean, you do have some places that be like, they know so and so, and they be giving you about 10 different last names. If you're giving me 10 different last names, I'm not gonna go there. No. I mean, you would think that maybe perhaps, well, if there's 10 families and then they decided that anyway, I had this little theory about, let's say families, and then they actually having some land, and then they, populate the earth. But okay, but I'm like, okay, it could be 10 families on a plantation. Okay, so anyway, um, so plantation is not negative. I know that we kind of had some miseducation about the plantation. You have a lot of people who come from a place, and they know that there may have been two or three different generations in one place. You know what I'm saying? And then the kids, they venture off. They're looking for education, or they're looking to expand. Here it is, their opportunities for wealth. Okay, so they go back to their family home or whatever, and they're like this, that, and the other. Maybe they even come back to invest in the neighborhoods that they grew up in, the city or whatever. And so anyway, teaching our children the importance about the watch. The watch has something to do with investment. Okay, the watch has something to do with care, caring for the things that you were able to populate, trusting your employees, trusting your employer. You understand? These things become essential. I'm learning something about trust. Well, I ain't going to 50. I'm not going to. I do not want to be trying to, no. Man, hello? 678-334-3409. And not the other head. I'm sorry. Anyway, the point that I'm saying is that trust, oh wow. Oh man. I mean, it's simple as a simple task. I had did something very simple. I just asked somebody if they were able to do something, and lo and behold, said, boy, they wanted to tell me this, that, and the other. It didn't work out that way. It went one thing or the other. It's just not cool. Somebody was talking about, hey, they gave such and such person X amount of dollars. And that's interesting. Even though you will give somebody else something, then they will be upset if you don't trust them. I don't know. Trust. That's part of relationship. It's part of partnership. Okay. Mhm. So it's a little different when you're looking at something and and you're trying to do something and you're asking somebody, hey, we'll print this, write this paper or something. We need this paperwork done, or we need to be able to submit it. People are prosperous when they work together. No, seriously. And I think that I had mentioned how some human rights violations have taken place to talk about the land and the plantation. Okay, human rights violations have occurred via with the use of human rights. You can trust people to do bad. Can you trust people to be good? No, seriously. And then I mean it'd be going. Some people it'd be as simple as just a man, simple stuff. Simple stuff. Are you reliable? Are you dependable? This plantation is real. I think I was having a little story. I'm sorry, just kind of into this. And I was talking to this person, and we were having a conversation about relationships. And I was like, "Oh yes, this would be nice," Anyway, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, "Oh yes, on the farm, we'll be building the farm, and we'll be doing this for the farm." And then here it is so anyway, it began to be not a practice, but this was in somebody else's realm. And we were like, okay, on this day we did this, like you have fish Fridays, and then we had lazy Sundays, and and then we just knew at a certain hour it was nap time. Okay, at this hour was nap time. So I mean, the farm, even though it was on somebody else's farm, the farm was working, that plantation. So now you have this kind of schedule or whatever on the plantation. you know. So I was just like, wow, this is all right. Nap, it's nap time. There was certain work that we did at a certain hour. Sometimes, I mean, I know some people be going down. This is culture. Then, I mean, we're not talking about religion. We're just talking about culture. And I was just like on this plantation. I just said, wow. Well, on the farm, call it the farm. I call it the farm. You know. All right, blah, blah. So anyway, so teaching our children early. I don't want us to assume that maybe us not having or us having and then us wanting more and then incorporating other people. It's good to talk to other people. Matter of fact, it's even grander to talk to people and you see a movement. When people be like, "Oh, we had a movement." It goes beyond just marching, honey, or holding up picket signs. That movement be real because now they're going to wherever it is that they try to get to address the issue or to build the cause. And this stuff is for real. All right, people? Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Working on that farm and amelioration all day. Yes.